Can't do that.
No. Hello. It's Wednesday. Women
Woo!
that shred. We shred on Wednesday. Hello, Christy. Christy Mindell. Is it Mindell or Min? I always accentuate the wrong syllables.
Yeah, that's a good question. People say all kinds of things, but it's Mindell. Yeah.
Mindell. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
because
been called
I
all
grew
of
up.
it. I respond to all of it.
Okay, because I say like TV or like I used to get made fun of all the time because of the way I said just I don't know how to accentuate the syllables very well.
It's all
But
good.
Christy, welcome to Women That Shred.
Thank you. Thanks
I
for
didn't
having me.
realize that you were on Josh's show not too long ago. You were
Yeah.
shredding with him, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We had a really good conversation because we were talking about non-QM in general, and this is kind of a new space
We
for
were.
myself, and it was really kind of fun to talk to him and our EVP of sales, Kimberly Torres. She's really cool. She has a lot to say about the topic as well, and so how to take advantage of that opportunity was really cool.
Nice, nice. Well, we don't get as technical on this show.
Yeah, which I love it.
Yeah, like this is more kind of just having a conversation and hopefully adding some value to our guests. And speaking of our guests, we have Suha jumped on here and Christina. Hello,
Hi.
ladies. Thanks for hopping on. So we are going to discuss networking, but
Yeah,
I was thinking about it because I've talked about it before, on this show, because it is a very important topic that I think never goes out of style.
no, we could all do
So,
better.
yes. So in this case, like I want to really dive deep into it and like really share examples, because a lot of people are always curious as to how I have the network that I have or the people that are
Yeah,
in it. And I don't think they realize like the amount of time and energy and effort that goes into that. And
yeah,
so I would love to kind of get your perspective on it and share with us exactly what it is that you do, because I
yeah,
think it's evolving too now that we're mostly online as well. So I think it has
yeah.
changed. It's not just like in person going to happy hours and
Yeah, exactly. It's
yeah,
I feel like it needs a new word, like instead of networking, because when people think of networking, it has like like people go, "Oh, it's something I have to do." Like I know I have to do it. And
yeah,
so I kind of get like a little bit like it's just getting to know other people and how you could serve. Like if you come like for me, networking is about and I didn't really know this at the beginning of this process, but
mhm,
I always go in it with like a heart of helping others. And
yeah,
through that, I start meeting other people. And through that, other people. And so like all of a sudden, you have this network that's pretty awesome because you've worked with them and they believe you and they trust you and they appreciate your work. And so you just keep spreading that. And hopefully, through the people that you serve, they're serving other people in a positive way. And so I come to networking with like a giving, serving mentality instead of like, oh, what can I get from Raquel? What can I get from Josh? Like, what can I get from somebody? I don't do that. Like, I don't expect anything out of anybody. If I am putting my heart out there and helping you or talking to you or getting to know you, it's just curiosity, and then part, maybe that we could do business down the line when it's organic, when it's natural.
right. But I
Now,
love that you said doing business down the line, because I
yeah,
think for the longest time, just from experience, you go to a happy hour, you go to a conference and you're there, and like right away, everyone's like, so who do you work with? What do you do? And then they
yes,
automatically go into that, like that business mode. And for me personally, as soon as they do that, I'm like,
yeah,
I think I saw someone I know, or, oh, I gotta go. I gotta run to the restroom. Like I quickly make an excuse to
yes,
get out of that conversation.
yes.
I'm like, you know what? Clearly this person
Hmm.
has that mindset of like they just want to do business. Oh, hey, Josh.
Hey, Josh.
Christy, Josh.
Yes.
You just hopped in here. Whoa, that's big time.
I met Josh at a conference for the first time. I don't even know how many years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. He was at a conference. He had like one of those gimbal things. He was walking around with. That was like the first
I was
time
going to
he
say, I'm
had
sure
it.
everyone's like, what is that person doing?
Yeah, and I was like, dude, like, hey, you're Josh Pitts, that guy Josh Pitts, and what is that thing you're playing with? And he's like, oh, it's pretty badass, and he's kind of explaining it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get one now. And I have one.
Yeah.
I still don't know how to use it, but I got one.
I got one and I couldn't use it properly. I think it might've been broken to begin with. And then I was too lazy to return it, but I was like, oh, but I did get
Yeah.
one. But it's
Yeah.
funny that at least you met Josh. I haven't met Josh.
What?
In
Oh,
person.
man.
No.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool that like we're working together in some capacity, but still
Yeah.
haven't met each other, which also kind of leads again to this whole networking concept of where you can
Right.
still network, not have it
Yeah.
be in person, and still build and
Exactly.
create these incredible relationships. And so
Yeah.
I think that's another thing where I think people need help with, in the
Yeah.
sense that, especially in our industry, I feel that as soon as someone connects, they automatically might send you like a spammy message, or automatically like go into business right away, or expecting you to
Yeah.
send them business. And you
No,
can't do that
that's not it.
anymore. And,
Yeah.
so it's like same thing. If I go into someone's messages and their DMs, whether it's Instagram or
Yeah.
LinkedIn, I always come at it with like, hey, I really love your content, or I love that you specifically said this. Like, I make it very clear that it's personal, that like I
Yeah.
actually paid attention to what they're posting. It wasn't just, out
Yeah.
of the blue because I saw that they were a loan officer or a real estate agent or whatever, or in marketing.
Yeah.
So for me, I always think of something, and sometimes I'll send a video depending on the person,
Yeah.
video or a voice note, because also
That's
they can
bravery right there.
personality. Yeah. And it's amazing how quickly that conversation kind of, starts out, because there's like that
Mhm.
automatic kind of connection.
Connection.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if you do that.
Well, so I don't do it that way. I think what I start to do is I start to look at a person's content that I'm interested in. And if they start saying things that seem interesting, or, we're connected, like, for example, I like to connect with a lot of marketers. Marketers don't necessarily go out of their way to become friends for some odd reason. I'm not sure why, but it's maybe, we're grinders. We like grind on our work, and we don't see anything else. And so because our task list and our project list is so huge, that we don't really take time to network with others. And maybe that's part of the biggest reason why I hadn't for a long time, is I was too busy in the work. I didn't have time for social media, didn't have time for networking. So maybe in the course of busyness, you don't find that networking is important. But at the end of the day, networking is why I'm here today. I mean, networking is literally the reason I got my job here. Hey, Molly. And it really is what like catapult your career in a way, because of, if you're really true to who you are and to your work, then that just keeps following you through your network of people that know you, and you become like a person they trust, or they respect, or can depend on. And I really believe in just helping. So the power of the network is very important to me. Now let's just clear the air though. On LinkedIn, how many freaking DMs do you get? And it's sell, sell, sell all day, every day. And I can't even really respond to half the messages that come in trying to sell me. So I don't really even reply back. And I feel so horrible inside not to reply back, but you can't even get to it. I mean, there's literally like no time in the day to get back to all the extra noise. So the way I go about it is I mostly just like and comment on people that are adding value to the community. And then over time, there'll be something they say that I go, oh, if you're looking for a solution, we have something here at Champions. Like, if you're looking for a non-QM, or you're struggling with that, then I'll say, hey, have you ever thought about this? Or, I saw you had some questions about social media or some gripes. And so maybe you think about it this way. Or I'll just add comments to people that I feel like I can add value to. And then that's what starts the conversation. Or like for example, you had a person that fell out on your Women with Shred. And then I was like, well, I don't know this girl, but I see her all the time, mostly because I just adore your hair. I wish I had hair like yours. But it was more like, you know what? She needed to fill a need. Maybe she has this happen to her, and maybe I could help her in some ways. Yeah. So I'll jump on your show if you need somebody to, be there for you. And I don't know you, but I'll be there for you. So let's get to know each other.
No, I love that. And then Molly, yeah, so this is great because Molly's when you're networking, I love she goes hashtag networking. The event you're attending matters. Choose to participate in places you feel comfortable
Yep.
where you can be yourself. If the environment is too stuffy, too pro, or too
Oh,
formal, then networking won't be as effective because you have your guard up, which is
so
so
true.
true. And I have learned myself to kind of stay clear of some time of those like networking events where I know what it's going to be like, or there's events where I know it's just going to be like kind of a more of a party
Yeah.
scene. And sometimes I'm like, I don't want to be a part of that either. So it's okay to be picky
Yeah.
as to where you want to insert yourself. You know,
Oh,
hey,
Melanie,
Melanie
thank
brought
you.
me here. Thank you, Instagram for. Oh my gosh! So through Instagram, see,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
Yeah, so Melanie is a great example of what the power of networking. She is our director of digital content at Champions Funding,
Oh, okay.
and she was previously the social media marketing manager at Kind Lending, where I brought her into the mortgage industry at that moment in time. Now, Melanie has a sense of humor that I absolutely adore, and so I do like a mommy blog kind of thing on travel. And so I have something on the
Okay.
side that I have fun with. I've met Melanie through Instagram because she lives locally in Orange County and she has all this great content about Orange County family life. I've
Oh
been
my
following her for 6 months. Yeah. And she's so funny and so hilarious. And I'm like, so I posted something about, hey, I'm looking for social media marketers at this new company that I'm working at. Do you know anybody? Just broadcasted. She's like, well, tell me more about it. And I'm like, you're a mommy blogger, which is awesome. But I think you care about people. You're a homeowner. You have all these things that connect you to the mortgage industry, and you have a platform and a voice, and you know how to use it. So come into the mortgage industry. So she's never like done anything in mortgage, but she came on board, went in and started learning everything about, all the mortgage acronyms possible, LTVs and FICOs and all the things that we don't even know still, maybe to this day. But
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully we know that. But it's like all the terminology, within the guidelines that we had to like learn and master and still kind of understand. She came in like a boss and started owning it, and she created the content and kept it funny and kept it personal. But that relationship was because I just started connecting with her on Instagram because I thought she was funny and she's
Yeah.
awesome and brilliant in her writing. And I could see that. And so that networking opportunity really turned out great for us at Champions Funding. It's awesome to have her on board.
That's great. No, I'll definitely have to check her out. Maybe I'm already following her. I don't know. Sometimes, you just don't know if you're following that person or not. But maybe
Yeah.
we'll have to connect. But that's what's great too, is the fact that you were saying that you loved her humor and how funny she was.
Yes.
And so you felt that connection. Like that's the same thing that I tend to gravitate on social media towards people that are funny
Yeah.
and that have this really like quick, witty, sense of humor, kind of sarcastic.
Yeah.
And then, that kind of builds on there,
Yeah.
through that. So that's like why I tell people all the time, like, just if you're yourself, you're going to attract the
Mm-hmm.
people that are going to appreciate that about yourself and your personality.
Yeah.
I mean, it took me a long time to realize that.
Yeah.
When I first got on LinkedIn, I was trying to be kind of professional and a little bit more serious. And the content that I was
Right.
putting out there was content that I felt was, appropriate for the mortgage industry. And then I don't know how it kind of morphed into
It
me
evolves.
just
It just
being,
evolves.
yeah, it just evolved and I morphed
Yeah.
into myself, like my true, 100% authentic self. And then that's
Yeah.
when like everything changed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really important too, that when you are networking, that you're putting your, your true self first, like forward. And I
Yeah.
think that's where a lot of the networking also is kind of like people come at you in this way
Yeah.
where later when you get to know them, you're like, you are nothing like the person that approached me that one day or
Yeah.
that I started
Right.
talking
That's my
to.
biggest fear. Let's go back to Molly's comment though, the
Yes.
power of networking at shows. So I know for me, because I've always been like, I don't know how this turned because I guess I'm getting older, but when I was younger in my career, I've always been like on the young side of all my peers of people I serve or work for. And so as a young person getting into mortgage industry at the time, I was really fearful of networking. Like I didn't understand. I don't think people would take me seriously because I'm young. Maybe I didn't know enough, and so there's a lot of that at shows where you feel just awkward. And so I think it's more about like, what kind of things would help young people in the mortgage industry go out of their way to say hello to somebody or get to know somebody when they walk by a booth, get to understand their business. And so that's kind of what I did. I would go to these shows where I was super uncomfortable and I'm like, okay, I have two choices: continue to be super uncomfortable or just say hi. What do you guys do? Even if it's over my head and I don't know what, appraisal valuations are at that time, being 30 something, like 32 or whatever. It's just asking the questions. And then finally, like later down the road, those things might connect and make more sense to you the next time you see it.
Yeah.
So it's just like building blocks of like putting yourself out there little by little and then just like building upon it. Even if you don't know what a person does entirely, just being interested, I think, is helpful. And then you go, oh, hey, I saw you at the last show, and how are you doing? And you start like evolving that conversation and having those icebreaker moments. But I also think the icebreakers are a great way to think about, like when you're going into a show or networking. Sometimes I have to think about, like, if I'm going to meet somebody new, what kind of things am I going to go in with? Like, how am I going to introduce myself, or how am I going to like learn who that other person is? And so sometimes I do that. I have like some canned things. So in the moment when I freeze and I don't know what to say and I'm just sitting there smiling, shaking my head, I go, oh,
What
hey.
are some of your canned phrases?
One of my canned phrases will be like, so tell me about your business. What do you guys do here? It's like that's like one generic, like maybe that's super basic and cheesy, but
hey, at least it starts a conversation. And if they're smart, they'll go ahead and at least, share what they do in hopes that maybe you'll be, future client or customer. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, and I'm in marketing. I'm not their ideal client. So half the time, they're looking for loan officers or somebody else. But I mean, you never know when I can connect you to a loan officer. So you never know where your business is going to come from. Could come from somebody that's completely not in that role. And so that's what also networking can do is help you connect to people that are your target audience, which I think is important.
Yeah. Let's see what Suha said. One of the best advice I got about networking is to find that one person in the room by themselves or someone who is on their phone and go introduce yourself. They're probably uncomfortable or feeling intimidated, etc. I don't know if I can do that. I still feel kind of weird going into someone that's standing by themselves, because I know when I'm standing by myself and someone comes up to me, sometimes I'm like, There was a reason why I was standing by myself. I'm just kidding.
I love that approach. I should try that. I just get I get a little nervous because maybe that's like Southern California. We don't outwardly do that. We don't have that Southern charm or anything like that. We're just in our own worlds.
I think we do. I think what? I think we do, because I'm out here on the East Coast, and when I go up to someone or introduce myself, or I just have a smile, they're like, "You're not from around here, are you?" And I'm like, why do you say that? They're like, because you're too friendly and you're like already smiling. So I'll tell you that in the East Coast, in this DMV area, I stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. Well, you have the bubbly personality, so I could see that. But you know what? It's what's needed, though. We need more people like you out there in the world to say hello to all, the people that are feeling awkward. And that's, I mean, it's just the interactions. And once you see it enough and you start practicing what you preach, I think it just keeps on paying itself forward. And maybe that, like Suha's idea, maybe I'll try that at the next show I go to. I think I'm going to California Association of Mortgage Professionals next week. They're having a annual convention, summer. It's called Summer Camp. So it's going to be in Newport Beach. They have a bunch of Southern California, all throughout California, people coming down. And so I'm going to try that. I'm going to find somebody. So if you're watching the show.
I'm going to do that too, Suha. And then Ginger says, what do you recommend to
Ginger.
events? Cards old school. Use my link tree and have a URL, meetgingerbell.com. I like that. What do you recommend? What do you recommend?
Oh gosh, you know what? Business cards are, I
don't have any. I had never ordered any at NAF. Sorry.
I mean, I'm in marketing and that's what we do, but I kind of I love and hate because I don't like to carry them around. And I know when I go to shows, it's like, okay, where do I put that in this purse that I'm trying to
Well,
streamline?
I
You
know
know,
I don't ever keep the ones that I get. So for me,
yeah,
like I feel like it's just a waste of paper. So when people ask me for a business card, I'm like, listen, are you on social media? And if they
yeah,
say they're not, then that's actually a good lead in for me because that's what I
yes,
do is social media and helping, loan officers with
same,
their brand presence. So then it's like, hey, you should get on or whatever. Cause I'll tell them like that's
yeah,
like I will give them my QR code because LinkedIn has a QR code and
yeah,
so
yeah,
does
yeah,
Instagram. So I've done that before where we just exchange QR codes.
yeah,
And then automatically I feel that as soon as they look at my LinkedIn and they kind of get like a quick resume of who
yeah,
I am and what I do. And I feel like
yeah,
it's just way more powerful than a
yeah,
business card because I do feel like a lot of people just chuck it. Sorry.
yeah. I agree. I mean, I'm
Oh,
sitting
digital
here.
cards too. Digital
Look at
cards
this.
are great. Oh
I'm
God,
just sitting.
I threw mine all away. Like I had so many
These
like
are
that,
cards
and
from the
then
show.
I just ended up recycling them. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen. Have you seen? There's loan officers at NAP that have like this like really cool digital cards.
Oh,
They
yeah.
just on your phone and you scan
You
it.
scan
Suddenly
it.
it's uploaded into your phone
Yeah.
as a
We like
contact.
that.
Oh, so she
Yeah,
has
we
one
like
too.
that a lot.
Okay.
I think those are really awesome. They
Yeah.
have stickers. You can make them into stickers and put them on your cell phone. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Usually, if I'm in the heat of the moment and I'm meeting somebody for the first time, I'm not prepared. It's like, hey, how are you doing? Let's connect. Hey, are you on LinkedIn? And then I'll just, like you said, find them.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
say
I do it right then and
right there and then. I don't. Yeah. Oh, your audio just lost. We lost you. Can you hear me? Yeah, you said. I think you said that was weird.
literally
It's okay.
my connection just like went out.
Went out. It's okay.
And
It's
now
all
I
good. It
can't hear you.
happens.
Maybe you're muted too.
Oh,
Are you muted?
okay. I can hear you.
I don't know
I
what
can hear
happened.
you.
Okay, hold on. Dal just private chatted me. Oh,
Oh,
she
yeah.
hears us both.
So
Okay,
you
but I don't
can
hear
hear
you,
us.
which could
So
be a
maybe it's your
problem.
audio. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I can't hear you.
Maybe change your.
I'm sorry. Like I don't know what happened. Literally, like
Change your
it
headset.
just went out, and I got the Microsoft thing. Okay, I'm gonna hop on, off and on. So,
Okay.
Christy, you go ahead and continue like what you do, like
okay.
networking wise, and then I'll be
Okay.
back on. So you can
That
handle the
sounds good.
show.
Okay, so I love all the comments that are coming in too. So the digital card is really awesome. The other thing I think that I really do that is helpful, I take a screenshot once I connect with them on LinkedIn. I'll take a screenshot so later I'll say something to them and connect, and there you are.
And I can hear you, so keep going. This is awesome. See,
yeah.
so
it's all good. This is how we roll. We're women. We find a way. But connecting with a person on LinkedIn or on socials, wherever they get social, is basically how I find somebody, and then I'll screenshot their photo on their profile page, so I don't forget about them.
Yeah.
And then later on, I'll just remember to like and comment, so they show up on my feed a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so I kind of trick the algorithm to show me more of their content if I'm trying to make that relationship happen.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if this is like a joke or not, but someone just their comment. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, I can't see any of the comments. What's happening?
Someone just called us sexy MILFs, and I don't know if that was like a joke.
Well, I'll take that.
I don't know that person, but hey,
I'll take it. Shoot.
I'll take it. Sorry. I mean, I'll take, Thanks for the
Yeah,
compliment.
if you're into chicks in the 40s, I mean.
I was gonna say I would be 47. It's funny how like there comes a point where you're like as we get older, it's like, you know what, the compliments aren't as they used to be, or the attention. Yeah. So every I know. So every now and then I know it might not be appropriate, but you know what, like I'll still take it.
Well, I think you are a gorgeous human being. So is Dal. So are all these women that are commenting. I mean, I love seeing the names, and I just think everyone's beautiful.
That today, and Josh.
And Josh.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like, so even with this, what we're doing now, like there's women on here that I don't know. And so we'll get to connect. And just like you said, we connected through the show. And for me, it's connection. Like, there should be a different word to it that has like the word connect or connection.
Yeah, it needs
networking,
to be.
Because for me, it truly is about the connection that you make with that person. And then not only that, like, just like you said, it's how can you serve and help? Like, I love connecting people that I meet with other people. Like, I'm constantly like, hey, who can I connect you with? Like, you know, if you see somebody on my LinkedIn or my Instagram that comments and you've been wanting to talk to that person, you know, let me do a soft intro. Clearly, I'm like, hey, if you're just trying to like do business and like, then don't, and then I'm not going to do that, because I don't, like, I think that's kind of ew. Because I have had people say that, like, hey, I've really been wanting to do business with that person, or I really want to recruit them, or like, can you connect? I'm like, no, I don't know. I just don't feel right in that way either. If it's just really straight.
I love this tip here from Suha, this trick of taking a picture of their lanyard. I do that too. And then,
of their lanyard. I sometimes just take it, depending on the person. I'll be like, let's take a selfie, and then I'll use a selfie in my contact photos. So you'll see in my contacts, it's me. It's a ton of selfies.
Oh, you have. Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, because a lot of times, you know, it's bad. I forget the person's name.
Okay.
So then what happens is, if I think I remember their name, I'll go. And then if I have a picture of the two of us, and I'm like, oh, that's the person. And then maybe I can be a little bit more specific, but, the lanyard, that's a good one too.
Yeah. I usually, in my phone, I'll put like, in their name field, I'll put like work, and then the person's name, and then their last name in the last name field. And then the company, I might, if I know their company, or I'll just put like met at NAM, or met at whatever event. And so I'll put those little hints on there. I mean, I also did that while I was dating, but it was, you know, because you don't know who, before I met my husband 10 years ago, you know, I was on a dating spree. And so, you know, you can't remember all the people that you meet that you were dating, or, you know, whatever. So you have to put those little breadcrumbs of how you know that person. So I either put work or vendor or show in front of their names, so I can remember. But I also do that in personal. I'll put like doctor, or my son goes to a school, so I'll put the acronym of the school in front of all the mommies that I meet and things like that. So I can kind of like find them better.
But it's important, because with social media, it's, you know, you're meeting people every single day on all these different mediums and platforms, where before, unless you actually went to an event, you pretty much didn't have to worry about that. But now with social, there are so many people that we come across every single day. That's why it's also kind of really important to try to at least like differentiate yourself in some kind of way. And usually it's when you're just being yourself, you automatically differentiate.
Exactly.
You know, like, that's why I think where people forget. They're like, how do I stand out? You know, I'm like, maybe if you were just 100% you would stand out, because nobody else is like you. And so I believe that I think right now, I don't know, coming as a marketing person, Christy, I don't know if you're experiencing this right now, but this is what I'm experiencing personally, is now when I go to people's feeds, I think now, especially a ton of loan officers, real estate agents are trying to do like the trendy reels, the same kind of audio, the same reel. So now it's getting to the point where now it's like saturated almost with the same content. And so I have to remind myself of like, Raquel, just post what you know, like, I keep doing me. So that it is different, right? So like, even yesterday I posted a selfie of myself, and it was very flash dancey, and I put, and I love the 80s, and I put an MTV logo on it, and I said, I want my MTV. But it was very different, and it was like very colorful. And I know that it stood out, and it might not, someone might see it and be like, who's this? What is she all about? But I feel like you're also getting to learn that I'm a creative person, that I'm artistic, that I like the 80s, that I was an MTV baby. So there's ways to still put content out there that's purely you, that someone can kind of get to know you in an instant.
Yeah, and I kind of, you know what, going back to your comment about LOs kind of using the same audios. So you're in the business, that's what you do all day. So we're a little bit more desensitized because we see it more often, but you got to think about the loan officers and their target audiences. We're not their target audience. They're the home buyers are, in a way. I mean, we are, but we aren't. But the loan officer, you know, them actually doing it is like big props to them, because it's hard to get anybody to do social media in general. And when they do reels, you're like, wow, that's really awesome. They're putting themselves out there. If they have to take an audio and you know, 10 other loan officers have done it, so what? Just do it because
No,
you
but
feel
that's a
good.
good point, because
Yeah.
just like you had mentioned before our call, we were having a conversation as a market. Once again, when you're marketing, you're in it. And
Yeah.
sometimes you have to have someone that's on the outside looking in, or put yourself out in from a different
Yeah.
perspective, right? So that right there goes to show you that, I kind of get caught up in my own little world too, where I'm
Yeah.
constantly following loan officers and real estate agents. So maybe that's telling
Yeah.
me that you need to start following other people.
Yeah. And you just kind of put yourself in the other person's foot, in a home buyer's foot, going, okay, that loan officer's cool. He's got a fun reel
Yeah.
or good information. And so that stuff, I mean, I see a lot of lenders like ourselves, we're starting to do non-branded marketing content for our broker audience. So you're probably going to see a lot of champions funding, non-branded content that looks the same, but we don't all have the same people on our follower list. So it's very, it's varied. So it might seem like everybody's posting from a particular lender the same thing, but it actually goes wider than just the people that commonly see it. So I think it's kind of okay. I mean, I am in the mindset of,
I'm so glad that you said that, because that's
yeah,
the thing, is like, I think we all just get caught up in a certain perspective from
I know. I do too, though, because I
yeah,
always want to try
so
to
that's
innovate.
great. So at least it encourages those loan officers that are watching this.
Keep
They're not like,
going.
oh my gosh, Raquel just said that we all look alike and sound the same. No,
No,
keep doing what you're doing,
keep
please.
going. Yes.
I don't want
Yes.
to discourage anyone. But Sue, okay, so we're like at the 30 minutes, but let's answer this really quickly
Okay, good.
Before we close out. What's the best icebreaker question that is not business related? Do you have one in particular?
I don't have like a standard one. I'll find something that happens at a show and I'll go, hey, what did you think about that last session? Or I'll say something that I go, hey, those are really cool shoes. Or where did you get that, case? Or, I'll start like finding something that I like about that person. Even like, with you and your hair. I mean, your hair is, I wish I had your hair. That's probably if I met you out there, I'd be like, dude, your hair is so nice. Like, what do you use? What kind of product do you use? I would probably, to give a compliment of some way, and not to be, I'm not trying to do it in a fake way. I'm generally naturally curious. So I look at people and I just try to like understand their story and who they are and how I can help them in some way, and just want to meet them if their energy is there and if they seem receptive. And so I'll find a way to connect. I don't know how it is, but that's one of the ways. What do you do, Suha? Tell us what you do.
I know. Well, she's extroverted like me too, where I think the same, just like what you said. Suha's very much like that, where she is very complimentary. But it's very genuine, right? So I can see her doing the same thing as you do, the same thing I do, especially with women. I feel like it's so important to compliment other women. Like, there's going to be something about them that you like, you know what I mean? Whether it's their hair or their shirt or, their jewelry,
smile
or
or
nails.
whatever.
Like my daughter's been getting complimented on her nails like crazy recently.
Like, feel good a little bit.
And I love it because she's 18 and she's like, Mom, that was so sweet, or that's so sweet. And I love that she also kind of appreciates getting a compliment. So I think
exactly.
A lot of us women are kind of the same in that, and then we're realizing more and more how important that is, right? To kind of to lift each other up. So
I think that's important. I think, and at the end of the day, I know we're at the time, but what I hope people get out of this show is that networking is important. It doesn't matter what role you're in. You could be, in post closing, or you could be a receptionist, or you could be, you're obviously seems like salespeople are supposed to network like crazy, but it doesn't really matter what role, what age you're at in the mortgage industry. It doesn't matter how old you are, young you are, or whatever. Everybody needs to network, because you never know where your next opportunity is going to come from. And if you're putting out some good content or putting out good energy in the world, then you get that back, I think, tenfold. And so that's kind of what, if you go in it with a positive heart and serving, you'll never go wrong. That's my opinion.
I agree. And that's the perfect ending. I couldn't have said it any better. But, thanks again for everybody that hopped in. I always appreciate all of you when you come in and you interact and engage and are so insightful. Like, to me, that's the best.
Yes, I love it.
Thanks. And Josh and Christy, thank you.
You're welcome. It's so great to meet you. Finally.
And, I know. And we'll meet when I move out there. You and I will actually have lunch together. We'll take a selfie and a video and we'll do all that fun stuff.
I love it. Okay. Well, thank you very much for having me on your show. Keep shredding, lady.
Thank you.